Tolleson-Mack podcast. As you can see, we've moved it up a little bit. We're no longer in the Buckle Bunny room. Right?
Moving on up.
We're moving on
Moving
up.
on up.
And that's probably good for us. Because, I don't know if you guys know him. Personally, I don't think he needs any introduction after watching him come off of the wins of the BFI. But my man Denton Dunning's right here, the hottest healer going.
Right
What's
there.
up, buddy?
How's it going?
Good, man. We're good. What do you think of our new studio?
I never saw the old one. This one looks pretty good.
Yeah. We kind of moved it up a little bit.
I like the sign. The sign really ties the room together, if you will.
Juan Corral. Sponsored by Juan Corral.
Juan 1 and Juan 2, Corral. Thank you so much for the boys. Like you mentioned, Denton, he's 18 years old. And we were talking about it earlier. Boys, do you remember what you were doing when you were 18?
It was a blur.
I kind of had to think about it.
I hope for Denton's sake, he was not doing what I was doing when I was 18.
Pretty sure he's a lot smarter boy than what we were doing for sure.
Dude, you got to tell me, 18 years old, you're at the BFI. When you're a kid, you're roping the dummy, and you're either roping at the NFR or you're roping at the BFI, right? When you're a kid roping the dummy with your buddies, those are the two things you're gonna do. Like, what's that experience like, man?
It's a really good experience.
Yeah.
It's a long day.
Walk us through the day. How does the day go? What do you like from in the morning? How's it go?
You wake up, you go feed your horses, get everything like that taken care of. Get all your saddles over there to stalls, saddle, get everything ready, and then I went up there and watched. I was at the very end, and once I got through the first drag, I went and got on, looked around a little bit, and got back there and got ready to heel.
Yeah.
It starts off at 9 o'clock or is it 8 o'clock?
It's
Oklahoma time. 9 o'clock Oklahoma time. So you got a little time to get your horse ready.
Yeah.
Get your horse lined out. You get an idea of what the competition you're facing that day.
Yeah.
Not so much the ropers. It's a marathon over there. You're dealing with the steers and the cattle.
It's the cow.
Yeah. So you got to kind of check it out and see what the steers were like. Talk to the listeners about that for somebody that's never competed at a BFI or maybe just watch it on TV. When you see them steers live, they're a little bit bigger than they say the camera adds 10 pounds. Well, not when it comes to the steers. The camera makes them look a little when you're squaring up to one, especially the first steer, they're a little juicy the first couple rounds. When you square up right behind the steer, I'm sure their legs were a little bit wide and a little bit all over the place, right?
Wide.
Yeah. No matter how good they had trying to handle the steer, they were so strong that first couple rounds.
Yeah.
Legs were all over the place. You did a great job with your fastback cobalt heel rope. You use a hard medium?
Yeah.
That's probably the stiffest one in your rope bag that day, right? Yeah. That sucker, you needed a stiff rope to stay open with them cattle. It was
Who brings the steers over there?
I believe, was it Bobby Joe Hill?
I don't think so.
No, not this time.
I'm not sure who exactly brought them. They're big Mexicans.
Whoever they did a great job putting that set of steers together.
Yeah, they had a strong set for us.
Just watching, they looked pretty even. They were strong.
Oh, yeah. They're
everybody
all there.
had a strong one,
Everyone had a strong one.
I believe they brought one for everybody, right? The first round, and then so steers are going to take 5 runs, and then they're going to split off some for the short go, right? So do they bring 120 steers, or they bring 100 steers over there?
I'm not entirely sure how
They usually, back in the day when they had 105 teams, 110 teams, they would bring that many steers. So
everybody got the
first run, and then coming to the second round, that's where they kind of had an idea what the steers were going to do.
Yeah, and they roped them the night before in the 15, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, they did?
Yeah,
that helps out a lot.
A little bit, showed it to them.
So
they were really running by the time we got to them.
Did you rope them in the 15?
I didn't rope in the 15.
Okay.
I just sat there and I watched it, though.
You bet. So we talked about it a little earlier, too. We'll go back to the BFI here in just a second. But you started a month, kind of a rampage, you and Catch Kelton. And not so much at the Survey, right? Did you place at the Survey with somebody else? Did you place with Catch?
I placed with Catch in the pre-rope, and
the day before.
Yeah,
and then you guys started off right there.
Yeah,
kind of started putting your money together, and then you boys headed to Texas to the Patriot, right?
Yeah,
and then you guys, was it the Junior Patriot you won right there?
Yeah, the Young Guns Open. That's the first one we won.
So I'm gonna kind of put the money together. Been telling everybody you've won over 100,000 right there within a month. That's kind of a pretty good number, right?
Yeah,
So
pretty close.
you tell everybody. So you started off right there to the Junior Patriot, and then where'd you kind of go from there? And then you guys wound up at the BFI. Like,
So we were up to the Patriot, and we finished there Sunday. Drove all night. We ended up downtown for the slide Monday morning,
perfect.
and then that afternoon they had the NTR finals open over there at Rancho Rio. So we were up there, and I had a good rope in there, won first and second over there.
Did you
That was-
crossfire any over there at Rancho Rio?
No,
No, you made sure they squared up.
yeah,
It's hard enough to get up the arena far enough at that place, anyways.
yeah,
But-
they have pretty full contact set up
Yep.
there.
And then when you go to Arizona and you go to Rancho Rio, plan on them suckers running over there too.
Yeah.
So you were kind of ready for the big strong steers when you left Arizona.
Yeah.
But like say you started right there, and then where'd you go from Rancho Rio?
I stayed here for a couple of weeks, and then I went over to that Lone Star shootout, and then came back, and then went back over to the BFI.
Man, that was awesome. That whole little stretch you guys made, and a lot of miles in between, making the runs you guys made, money you won, was kind of worth the trip, I guess.
Yeah, it was very worth the trip.
We'll do it again, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
And we're back. We had a little technical difficulty here in the new
First
studio.
time in the studio. So
First
Breaking it
generation
in.
podcasters.
if it ain't
second
one
year.
thing, it's another.
We got a young studio and we got a young talent in the house.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
do.
Part
And,
of it.
and during our technical break, we were talking about calf roping a little bit. You roped some calves?
Not really.
Well, I've seen a little bit, and I tell you what, he gets it around the neck pretty good. Pretty talented with his rope. This guy,
Pretty
And
good
a-
breakaway roper.
and a lot like me, is like I got him around the neck. Now I got to go down there in time. So you go from getting on him in the 6 hole, 7 hole, sometimes right there, and
Yeah, if they're small enough, maybe get them tied down.
we
in
tie him down
9.
in 12. Sometimes sometimes we'll wrestle with him and get a 12 down, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. We did get a time.
So before we went away for the little technical break, we were talking about you guys driving, and you said you drive everywhere back and forth. So is it you and Catch that drive, or how does that work? Or
No, I go by myself most of the time.
you go by yourself and you meet them there, or
Yeah.
Well, I mean, by yourself, or
by
you and your
myself,
dad?
By myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
And this guy rodeos like I did.
you know,
like,
I think that'd be, kind of get you thinking, you get to think by yourself out there. I mean, that's a responsibility just driving as an 18-year-old cross country like that. That's pretty cool. I mean, I would personally like to do that too, like drive by myself. I do a lot of thinking.
were you responsible enough at 18 to have your own rig and drive? Say like, we're gonna send your parents are gonna say, hey, good luck over there in Texas. You're gonna go to Stephenville, Texas, the Mecca team roping over there for one of them team ropings.
Man,
I don't know. I held hay.
Yeah.
I held hay at 18.
but it's not just.
But I don't think I could have went out of state. Well, I stayed like Wilcox was my limit. Like,
But that's saying something for your parents to have that trust into you. Not just about you
let's give
driving.
your mom a shout out too. That's the greatest social media mom I've probably ever been. Like she puts so many videos of you up, and like she does a great job. Like everybody knows like who Denton Dunning is, and that you got to give. We have some experience with social media people, and your mom is great.
Yeah. Just put a lot of stuff up there.
Yeah, she puts a lot of stuff on there.
But I'm not saying just the traveling, just you driving the actual on the road getting there, but your parents to know like when you get to where you're going, you're responsible enough not to fuck up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
Get
saying
your
something.
horse out, take care
Yeah.
of your horse.
Well, I'm not thinking that
Yeah.
side. I'm thinking like not go to jail. You know what I mean? Like my parents be thinking of like, Brandon, what the fuck you at? That's very respectful. I mean, I don't know you that well, but if they're willing to, that's cool.
Yeah.
yeah. that's great.
Then to travel that little heel horse you got, the little black. I guess he's got a little roan
like
in his
that
tail there, right there. I really like that horse a lot too. I like his heart. He's got tons of heart.
Yeah.
I
He's
mean,
really good at it.
seems like the harder the steers hit and the harder the steers runs, the more try he gives, and that's kind of especially what you needed at the BFI. Pretty much all these jackpots you've been going to lately, it's
Yeah.
full contact. I was helping with the steers over there at the Survey, and I didn't have to cut off very many, maybe just 6 or 7 steers out of the whole herd the whole day. They were strong all day long. It's like, gosh dang, like that's a pretty good bunch of steers. And then you went from there to a dozen different other places in rope, and the steers were almost got bigger and stronger. The steers that we got to the Survey were just little bitty guys.
Yeah. They're
And then
little
just last week, the steers at the BFI were full contact.
Yeah, they hit the end of the rope really hard there.
Did you go through very many heel ropes that day? 2 heel ropes, and it was probably the rope still felt good. The coil was probably
Yeah,
coast.
the one I started with was a little older, but like it felt really good.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, I'm gonna use it till it don't feel really, really good.
Until it dies.
And it lasted one steer.
Yeah. The steers just tear them coils up and kind of really make the rope even soften up or maybe feel just a little bit different. So that's when you go back to a rope that feels more like you like.
Yeah, no, the first one it got hit really hard on the first year. The steer was running really.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying.
That's a test right there, especially I'm sure you can talk to the people listening in on it, but the first 2 steers, it's very important to get on a good start. Just a clean run. You don't have to do nothing
Just a-
fancy, just a nice clean run to set the day up.
Yep.
Because
So it feels good.
it takes 2 hours, you say, an hour. It used to
It's
take a little.
12-hour open, and you run 6 steers. So I just kind of figured steer about every 2 hours.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It didn't take that long when I wrote the BFIs. It was a little bit quicker. It was more like a little about an hour and a half almost in between runs.
Mhm.
But talk to the people about your focus throughout the days, even the going to the mic surveys and all that stuff. But the BFI in particular, what did you do in between rounds? Because you can't keep your focus. It's not wear you out, and it's hard to keep your focus from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the evening and run 6 steers in between.
Mhm.
So talking to people about how maybe I don't know how many steers you'd go and get your horse and like kind of start paying attention to the rope and really focusing, and then probably maybe after a run, maybe uncinched and give him some water, and maybe went and visited a little bit and took your mind off of the rope and just a tick.
Yeah, I'd go water him every time after I grow up. I'd unboot him and go give him some water and tie him up over there in the shade. Kind of put him over there next to his friend.
Yeah.
And then I'd just kind of go hang out inside for a while and wait till not enough to where I'd be late, but not enough to where I'd be super early. Give him about 20, 30 teams by the time I got inside. Just kind of watch it, see how it's going.
That's always me. I'm the nervous one. I'm booted. I'm ready to go. I'm like, a little early, bud.
So is it hard for you when you're looking at all these ropings? You obviously look at ropings a lot different than guys at like our level do, but you're looking at all these ropings and then you look at the rodeoing. I mean, you in the last week or two have made 100 grand, or been part of $100,000, right?
Yep.
Is it just something in your heart that you want to go rope at them yellow shoots, or is it? I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, wouldn't you be a lot better off to just go hit all these big jackpots the way that you rope, like the way you and Catch rope together, or the way, like, but is it just you just want to go pro rodeo?
Yeah, it's always been a kind of a dream of mine.
Yeah, so it just becomes a goal, and that's what
Yeah.
you want to do. I mean, yeah, I'm not knocking you for it at
Yeah.
all. I just, you sit down with a pencil and a calculator and you start thinking, well, man, this dude in the last 10 days has made X. And then we hear the stories from Caesar and Dennis and Eric Rogers and all these guys about how hard it is to go down the road, hit these 75 rodeos, and then be praying that you
It's
made
enough.
it in,
Caesar, is there anybody? I mean, you don't gotta say a name, I guess, but is there anybody that is just a jackpotter, like, and that like does what Brandon
Yeah.
just said?
Man,
Or I mean, I guess
guess.
you could say a name, but I'm just saying, like, there has to be guys like that, right? That are good enough to go and that just choose to kind of do
Yeah.
that.
But I kind of think they are good enough to go.
No, I'm saying that
You
they're,
know,
they're good
yeah.
enough to go pro
Oh,
rodeo.
they're good enough to go pro
But
rodeo.
I'm
yeah.
saying they're good enough, but they kind of just, or it might not be for that reason, just a jackpot. It might be because they have a family and everything. It might be a lot of scenarios, but you know what I mean?
Man, the jackpots are kind of set up for the rodeo guys to make their living that day. Like Denton won a big check that day. He spent a day roping and won his money. The guys rodeoing. So Denton's won a pretty good little chunk of money right there. For the guys rodeoing, they want to have a hit like that to
Yeah.
help them go down the road
To
a little bit.
to take them
Yeah,
down the road to
right.
to
More rodeos.
Right.
Yep.
So that's
I guess to fulfill that dream that you've always had,
Yeah.
of going to the
to keep
NFR and being
the
guy.
money afloat, keep it all going. That's why
Yeah.
you see like the big jackpots. The best guys are there still. The top 15
Oh,
guys. are
I
gonna
think
be
the
there.
best roping to watch. I mean, me personally, the best roping to watch in Arizona, or even maybe better than the NFR. I love the NFR, but the Open in Wickenburg right before the NFR.
Yeah.
Like,
It's awesome.
That is just
Yeah.
brings out the who's who of
To answer your
everybody.
question, Brandon, like there's a guy by the name of Bubba Buckaloo. He'll hang around there and circuit rodeo
Oh.
and stuff. But this guy is a gamer. He was high callback over there at the BFI. Had a little.
I call. He won their open the day before
Yeah.
over there at
Yeah,
Oklahoma City.
he's not gonna like he's made the NFR and he's not gonna go to the big rodeos. He's not gonna go to the Northwest. He's gonna go around the house. He lives in Oklahoma, so he's gonna go in his little circle right there, and he's gonna hit the the BFIs and Guthrie. So he's gonna go to that one for sure. And he won. He's been winning all over the jackpots this year, and he's a guy that's gonna go to the World Series finals, and he's done good over there. He's won the World Series finals, and then like we've had Dakota Kircheslager on the podcast. He's been just maybe show horsing, and then he'll go to the jackpots and kind of get his horses out there a little bit. But he's been sneaking in there and getting to a few rodeos. But he's not going to try to, not this year anyway. He's not going to go trying to make the NFR. You see guys like that, but when you got a guy like Denton and Catch they're 18 years old and this is what they want to do.
Yeah.
It's you got these guys coming up.
Yeah, and
you
I
got
mean,
the top 15 guys coming. Then you got the Bubba Buckaloos, man. When you show up to see jackpots, you better
I
be ready
can't
to
wait
rope.
to see you at the NFR. I've always had that question. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I watch you guys rope a bunch, and like I said, I'm on your mom's on my Facebook and TikTok there, so I watch you guys all the time. I feel like, and I just wondered, like you just got to do it because you want to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, so to travel and you said you drove all night and you did it by yourself. I mean,
That's what I mean.
Catch was with me. The
that was,
Patriot, yeah, he came with me.
that's a
that
good
time.
deal right there. I'm sure you guys, just you two in the rig.
Yeah.
I bet that was fun. Those are some of my funnest times. You got your buddy, a good buddy in the rig with you, and you joke around, and you know what I mean. You can stop wherever you want and eat and shoot. Got like rig like that, and a couple of young guys together. Pull over here and camp out tonight, and we let the horses rest. We're gonna go. You keep your options pretty open when you're 18.
So are you the guy? Are you the guy that shows up like an hour early, or are you the guy that shows up 5 minutes late?
I'm generally never that late. Every once in a while,
Yeah,
something happens.
that's how I am.
Show up
It
late.
drives my wife crazy. Like if we got to be somewhere at 9.
I'm also not ever early.
No,
No, I like.
you're just right on time.
Yeah, I like.
I
To be
love it.
right on time.
Timing is everything in his game. Timing is everything. Right on time every time.
Yeah, I love it.
I just, looking at the talent, that's young talent from Arizona now, like there's a crop of them, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And I don't know why. I just get territorial, right? Like I just want to be like, we want to take our best against.
Hey,
everybody.
they feed off each other. And I love it. I want to see a handful of these guys compete each other because they're feeding off each other, and that's what's making the game better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The guys that I was competing against, I love competing against those guys because it brought another level in my roping. When you're dealing with Clay Cooper, you know what I mean? Back in my days, you had to deal with Clay and Rich, and they had Jade Corkills and Colin Von Ongs, and even Paul Lees was. I took Paul to a few rodeos when he was 18, first coming up, and to see his success and where he's taken his game is just unreal. And I feel like Denton's got a great chance to do as much winning as he wants to, the pro level and high level. And he's the kind of guy, whenever he sets his mind to, like, I'm going to make the finals, he will. And when he says I'm done, he can kind
He'll
of.
be the guy that's dangerous around the house.
Yeah, he'll be going to the jackpots and doing good because it's when you got a love for it, it's hard to turn it off.
I know you've been roping with these guys for past couple of years now, or even longer. But I mean, just still got to get some. I'm sure there's some of your idols out there that you're roping against now, and that has to be kind of surreal, no?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Roping against.
What
these
about
guys.
Junior
You
when
know,
he kind of started out here in Arizona in our little circle out here,
Mhm.
and then you were just a little bitty guy when he was around here,
Yeah.
and then to battle it out, short go time with BFI,
That's pretty
with
cool.
Junior, that's
Yeah.
pretty neat, right?
Yeah, it's real cool to.
Kind of what dreams are made of for sure.
I like Junior, but I was pulling for you.
I kind of got a soft spot for Junior and the heel horse he rides, so I was pulling for both these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Caesar called me and he said, "Did you see the final lap or
The victory lap.
He was so excited about the victory lap. He said he put his hand down. That son of a bitch was running.
Running smooth off, you know what I mean? Just what he loves to do. That's what when Lucky gets in the arena, that's what he wants to do. He wants you to put your hand down and just blast him out of the arena a couple times.
He wants to help you win so he can get the victory lap.
I could see Caesar's smile from year to year, and I couldn't see nothing.
I did talk to you as soon as I talked to you about the victory lap. Did you see Denton Dunning stretch them steers out? Kind of proud of you boys for keeping it together, man. That's a hard roping on the mind because you got a couple hours in between, and when you come back to rope, you have to bring your intensity full max.
Yep.
And like I was following Ross Ashford a little bit in cash duty throughout the day.
Yeah.
Ross rides a heel horse that Tanner Baldwin trained that we kind of watched kind of come up a little bit.
Yeah.
And what a cool little heel horse they call John Wayne.
Yeah.
And the last steer coming in, they were leading the rope and all the way through. And then the 5th round, they kind of had a mistake. And that took him from leading the rope and all the way through the day. They won the 1st round.
Yeah.
And they were leading the rope all through the day. In the 5th round, one leg took him completely out of the roping.
Yep.
It went from I call back to not even making the short go. Everybody that made the short go at the BFI one made a check. So I'm happy with that the BFI did that too, because I've been there a few times and didn't win nothing, and made the short go and didn't win nothing. But it's a long day. It's a marathon trying to make the short go. And if you make the short go, you kind of did something over there.
Yeah.
And I mean, Brandon touched on this a little bit, and Denton, for the 42.36 seconds that I've known him, is a very, very humble kid, right? But it has to make you feel good. It has to make you feel good. Being from Arizona, it makes me feel good that the roping isn't over when these guys still got a rope one. You know what I mean? Like, like that's got to make you feel pretty good, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, when the big names, the who's who of everybody's over there at the BFI, and you look down the list, and you know Denton Dunning, you're like, okay, well, he ain't roped yet. Like, you know, this deal ain't over yet. You know,
For damn sure.
and I think it's real cool that, you know, you're humble enough to be like, yeah, I'm here to rope 2 feet. Like, you know what I mean? So that I think if you keep that, you know, attitude, you're gonna love it in the future.
Yeah.
You know,
I think staying humble, like Clay Cooper, I mentioned it to him, and I wrote too many highs and too many lows in the roping game. You know, catch, I was up here, miss, I'd go way down here. And I've spent enough time with Denton. He rides real level. He doesn't really let a miss get to him. He really doesn't let the big wins get to him either. He just stays right there. Like I said,
well, yeah, that's what
I dig his style. It reminds me a lot of Clay Cooper's mentality.
that's what Eric told us.
Yeah.
Eric told us, man, you know, you're gonna miss. It's gonna happen. You know, you just got to keep on keeping on. You know,
A healer's got to be a shark, though. He's got to be ready to eat, man. Like them suckers, when they crack one to win the day money, you know, or to win the roping that day, you got to catch the steer by 2 feet.
don't catch right his sister's horse.
Yep.
Yeah,
A lot.
All
A
the big
lot.
stuff, at least.
Think
Th-
about
this-
the money that horse has won.
Well, then he said, he's like,
Oh.
well, I did pay her fees. Something like that, right? Like, they're like, does she get mount money? He's like, I paid her fees.
You and Ketch run that deal afterwards. You guys are getting interviewed.
Yeah.
And I forgot who was announced. Who was the interviewing you guys?
There's two.
Yeah, he says, man, it's gonna be something if she wins or something, and she'd end up winning. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That horse need to win the horse of the whole week.
Yeah,
They need to give a prize for a horse the whole week, right?
whole month. That damn
The whole-
horse.
That
horse-
horse was
deserved
doing
it.
work.
Yeah. That's a mare too, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Perfect. They need to get a colt out of that thing.
So do you take a backup horse over there with you, or everywhere you go? Or?
Yeah, I generally have two with me every time.
Yeah. And do you sometimes crack out that backup horse, like at the smaller jackpots, or like how do you
Pretty
keep your
much.
backup horse?
All the smaller jackpots.
All the smaller jackpots.
For the most part, yeah. I try to only ride.
Your black ain't too old, is he?
Oh, he's 8.
That's what I mean. He can handle.
Slick. I
He
like
can
that
handle
one.
some rounds right now.
Mhm.
He's a great age.
I get asked a lot, like by people that listen to the podcast, that, or I get told a lot that they think it's really cool. Like, you know, Caesar asked you guys a lot about the horses, because when you're just sitting at home and you're a number 4, number 5 guy, whatever, you're just roping, the horse questions are a lot. You know, you guys, they see you pull up and you got two hill horses. Both of those hill horses would be better than most 90% of any of these guys got standing. So how do you make that choice on which one do you ride? Are you just confident in both and know what both bring to the table?
Yeah, I like, there's different situations I ride different horses in. Like I got the black, and then I have a sorrel mare that I ride, and like if I'm gonna go to a slide or something around the house, that's generally what I take. Or like if I'll always have her if like something does happen to go wrong in one of those bigger ones, I don't have to put that run on that good one, so I can save it for.
Is that do you judge that based on like how many runs you're going to make on her, like, or arena size? You know, Tucson's like 5 football fields long, you know, or
Huge.
whatever, but you know, and then other arenas are real small. So, I mean,
It's more of a like how big the roping is where
The money, how much money it is. It don't matter if it's a backyard one. There's money up that cat. You're riding the number 1.
Black's coming out.
Does the black? He's papered, right?
Yep.
What's he bred like?
I'm not too sure, honestly. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to
You
it.
and Derek Begay, I like your style.
I was just gonna say,
Whatever
like,
it takes to win.
this
man.
guy's going up on my list. I'm already.
What-
I don't know. He's pretty good.
Speaking of Navajos, though, you're roping with Aaron Sinigini in California coming up, right?
Yeah, I got him in a couple of them.
The trip is coming
Heck yeah.
coming up. Like you got to leave. Is it this week? Kind of start heading there, or early next week? Head that way.
I think like the 15th or so.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Where are you going first?
I go to San Angelo actually next Thursday and Friday, and then I come back and I rope at Logandale and then Kingman, and then I'll go over there to Red Bluff and Clovis and Lakeside.
So you'll rope with different headers in the pros?
I rope with like I have Aaron everywhere except for Red Bluff, and there I have Braden Schmidt.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You going to Cresta?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Got to go to that one when you go to Red Bluff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a jackpot.
Yep. Justin Davis, his family have a great facility over there.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of
Yeah.
fun. I watch all the
So
videos.
nice. It's one of the coolest places to go hang out. California is a good spot you can make good money out there. They usually have a good jackpot during the rodeos. Every rodeo you go to, they got a big jackpot. So
Yeah.
it's
Double dip.
that's how the guys keep their money together. Because like you go to the rodeo and them guys are winning. Last year it took close to 100,000 to make the finals, right? This guy made it in a month.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
now I always thought that maybe some of the bigger headliner jackpots they could open it up to be because they have standalone saddle bronc ridings, standalone bull
Bull
ridings.
ridings. Yeah, like the extreme bulls.
Yeah,
they do
maybe
extreme
get
bulls.
6 of the top jackpots of the year and have them count to the national finals rodeo standings. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, like
I
what?
don't think they
what?
could do that.
What did
'cause
they
of the
make?
18 deal.
Yeah, there's a deal
Because
like
Ages.
yeah.
Oh,
They would have to allow
Just
to
certain-
enter the BFI. You'd have to be 18 to be able to do
Oh.
that. But
then you wouldn't I wouldn't have been able to open it last year. Like Little Mike wouldn't be able to open it. Nikki.
that's the only issue I get because those guys are coming up and they'll be
You
future
just
world
named off.
champs.
You just named off the healers in the
Yeah.
2030 NFR.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, they keep pushing themselves. Like one kid will do good and then they just keep following suit. They're entering open ropings and winning the open ropings, winning the rodeos. I think that's pretty neat.
Little Mike, he was roping with Buffalo. I saw it some jackpot.
Yep.
Before.
They won
He's
the
won a
Patriot.
bunch of them.
They won
Yep.
the
Won the
Patriot.
Patriot
Yeah.
together.
I placed at the survey too,
Yep.
I think. Yeah.
Yep. Bubba's about my age. He's got a family too, so he's likes to stay around the house. But he is a gamer. Whenever he goes somewhere, he's got a really good horse, and he can really do it. He cut his thumb off, but he holds it in between his fingers. And that's the only guy I've ever seen that's talented that can.
Yeah,
I guess Ty Arnold ropes that way. I don't know very many guys that can rope. It looks tough to me. I hold it regular. I
Open
guess.
the dummy and stuff. It don't feel right.
It feels horrible. Like I said,
They do it the
Bubba
regular
Buckley may be the best roper in the world. So amazing. But shoot, the competition you're facing, like you said, you had to deal with Junior, and you got all these good ropers. I'm proud of you for keeping your head together, and whatever you did during in between rounds was the right thing to do. Just kind of socialize, do your deal, and go back because that's the hardest thing to do. Just keep your focus through the whole
Yeah,
day.
I mean, if I go enter a jackpot and there's like 300 teams, I lose focus. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just chilling.
I get
like,
turned out.
I'm roping in like a 9, and I lose focus. So I couldn't imagine sitting there for 12 hours of the BFI.
That's why, like Rancho Rio, he's got 2 arenas set up. So as soon as they rope one, you go right and run your second and third one right away.
Yeah.
If you do good, you do good. If not, you
is
can
fun.
load up and go home. You know what I'm saying?
And like me, if I base my jackpotting off if they got 2 or,
Yeah, me
or
too.
not, you know what I mean? Because if they
Or how many teams they're gonna get.
You don't want to be there all day. You
I'm
don't want to be there for 12 hours.
a fair weather guy, like you know what I mean. Hey, we're back with Denton Dunning, part 2 of the podcast on season 2 of Tolleson-Mack. Right?
New studio.
Fancy.
March 25th was our first one, and now we're officially a year in.
Yeah, you're in. First generation podcasters, 2nd season.
And folks, hit that like and subscribe, huh?
Yeah, just give it a little bump. Like it doesn't cost you anything.
We're almost there. We need 120 more.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to see more young talent like this Denton Dunning right
Heck
here.
yeah.
We'll talk to more young talent like this.
Denton, I gotta ask you, buddy, what is your feelings on crossfiring? Not on the PRCA rule, but on crossfiring.
1 second before you
Okay.
get to it. a lot of people are going to be at the edge of their seats wanting to listen because the old heads are going to say the whole,
Yeah.
this coming from a new generation. So we want to hear your
Yeah.
perspective on
Yeah,
this.
and like I said, not about the rule, but about crossfiring. Like, do you think you guys should be able to do it the way they let you do it at the BFI, or do you think you should have to change the steer and take a legal hop?
I don't think you should be able to do it like you do at the BFI. Out of
Thank
profession.
you. Thank
Hey,
you.
I don't know if you've seen Wesley Thorpe heel that last year. That was
Yeah.
the head loop no more than went on, and the heel loop was
Yeah.
tight. He's got a
He roped the heels
Yeah.
before they roped the.
Yeah. I text Brandon and I said, if they let this go on, it will ruin team roping.
I don't know
Because,
about ruin team
well,
roping.
I think
but
so. Well, and I just
It's hard to
from a
ruin
fan.
team roping.
Well, but I'm just saying from a fan, like my perspective is they're gonna rope the head, they turn the steer, and then like to watch you guys control your heel horse is as important to me watching as you catching.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you guys are just both racing straight down, I mean you might as well be Mexican tailing the steer. You know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah.
There's something to you guys turning your heel horse in and the big slides
and the header having to keep his steer up and make a nice
and
corner.
all the different ways that the headers control the steers. You know, Eric ropes it one way, Catch ropes it another way.
Mhm.
All these guys head differently.
Yeah.
So that gives all you guys a different shot. So I do say that it would kind of mess it up for the fan.
Yeah, and I think it kind of separates like the really, really good healers from like the not so great healers because I mean anyone can just peel behind them and
Yeah.
throw it next to them, let them roll into it,
Right.
flicker up around the hips and alley.
Yeah.
And then it's way harder to score up and heel one first hop than it is to crossfire one. Like
Yeah. And
I've done it enough. Crossfiring is probably the easiest shot
Mhm.
that you can take, unless you're going to kick one all the way to the left fence. But
Right.
It's kind of like getting your donkey in the round pin, just falling in a circle and just throwing your open you want, pretty much.
man. It like I feel like if they did eliminate, it would be like that at the NFR.
And I don't
To
think it'd be fun.
to get up the arena far enough at the national finals rodeo to square up and heel a steer properly is so difficult.
But that's
But
what makes
if they
it
make it crossfire rule, you would see them guys cross in right behind the steer
Yeah.
as soon as the head loop goes on.
yeah,
It'd be 2-0, but like it'd be fast times, but it'd be ridiculous because it would make it easier to heel the
yeah,
steer.
way
Because you can't get up the arena far enough at the national final. It's so hard to get a heel horse fast enough and to get a good start to get up the arena far enough to get to the
Mhm.
end of the hop. So you're in the right position to heel fast.
Yeah,
You almost get caught too much in between. So like,
it takes the art of healing away.
yes, and I think that's
I
why
agree.
people at the national finals rodeo when they seen Logan get called out, man, I didn't think it was a crossfire. No,
didn't
he
either.
kind of. I think Ty needs to go the runner when it looks close like that. When he healed him all the
Yeah.
way at the peak of his hip, and he took another jump and then jumped forward. So,
And
but
it's-
honestly, he rode to a good position, rode to a good
Mhm.
shot, took a right shot. It wasn't like he healed him going straight down the arena,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So I feel like the Ty can go to the runner when it's real close like that, but
Yeah.
a blatant crossfire. It's like Denton said, it takes a little bit of the horsemanship side of it and a lot.
And then I mean the fans that are buying the tickets and buying the ropes that you guys support and buying all this stuff, it takes it out of it, right?
Because, like he said, if how they were doing it, like both went down the arena at the NFR with that world record run, they got a crossfire. If they wanted to crossfire, they would have crossed the ride a lot faster than that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
You know what
They
I mean?
would've
That would have been a 2-second
2.5.
run. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like, I think they held him up enough. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they would have crossfired a second ago. You know what I mean?
Ty doesn't go the runner at the pro rodeos. If it looks close, they're calling you out. That's
So-
just kind of the rule that those guys got. If it looks close, no time. But honestly, like a situation like Logan had, man, and that was legal. Like
Yeah.
to give him it because Ty could go to the runner in that situation. However, if there's a spot where the steers are really kicking into it, you can see the healer bring it down, and the steer swings into it. That takes a lot of the art of the heeling steer correctly away. And they started the whole crossfire rule back in the day that Ricky Green was heeling them like that. He was just heeling it right behind him, just heeling him right in the pop. And it just takes a lot of that away. So
Yeah.
put that crossfire rule in there. Ricky gets up and around him. He can still do that too. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a world champion healer. He could do that. But like, it just takes like Wesley, for example, at the BFI in the last one. That's what brings, you talked about that a little bit. It's just, man, if he would have waited one more hops, he might have not have won the round. He might have won.
Definitely would have won.
Yeah,
the round.
yeah. You know what I mean? The guys that won the round kind of was a little more legit round, but
Yeah, the guys
like if he would have just
second
waited
round.
and healed it, they might have won. They still would have won some money in the round,
yeah,
but
they would've
they
won
would not have won the round. So that's, like I said, that's kind of the difference, I think. And man,
Yeah.
if the guy makes a legit run, it's so much harder to make that run.
It's yeah.
If there's a record at the BFI, like say last year, somebody set a record at the BFI. I'm sure there's some record.
Yeah.
When they took the crossfire rule out, will that record now never be beat? Because it's essentially not roping the same.
Well, the score is different too than what it used to be.
Yeah.
So
does
Trevor's record, there's a good chance it will never be broken.
So what is the record?
40 on 6, and like you grew up a heck of a rope and you get 46.
Yeah.
Like it's a second a run longer over in Guthrie.
Yeah,
than it was in
there's-
Reno.
So them changing the rule and stuff. If somebody did 39.8 on 6 or something like that with no crossfire rule, I wonder if that.
I don't think-
I don't think so.
The guys not winning the averages aren't crossfire. And
Yeah.
it's the day monies, kind of. I
That
think
makes sense. I
when
mean,
you're
just
roping
going
6 steers and you got that much money up, you're gonna pay attention, take the right shot. You're not
Yeah.
gonna do something stupid and try to heel them in the crossfire, especially if you're good on a couple of them and you just kind of try to heel one fast. You're gonna feel like an idiot,
Yeah,
just take another swing over the back and
Real
catch.
hero or zero shot.
Yeah.
That setup is more like a marathon where we
Mhm.
need to get 6 steers down. We need to make the best run we can on
Mhm.
6. It's not.
That's what makes it so cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then if you happen to go out in the first round, okay, now it's day monies, but you're not guaranteed day monies over there. The steers
No.
are so fast. You got to get
You're
some
liable
kind of.
not to get thrown.
and-
Not to throw at one.
And like you're a healer, and I'd like to get Catch on here one of these episodes, but we could talk about how hard it is to score over there. You've seen some good runs and you've seen a lot of
Yeah.
barriers over there. That's so tricky.
Mhm.
Like it's so
Yeah, like
to
the
be able
first
to.
time you watch the BFI, and I mean, if you don't know the barrier and stuff, you're like, man, that guy's late.
Yeah.
And then you watch the next one, and he doesn't look late, and he broke the barrier. So you're like, okay, there's got to be an issue.
It's
here.
tricky over there because
And-
how the steer leaves. Sometimes the steers leave fast and it's kind of halfway slow up, about
Mhm.
one stride out, they're 2 strides out there. They'll throw their head up a little bit and then, bam, you get a barrier. But
And
they run.
it feels so much further in real life than it looks on the videos.
Man,
promise
it does-
you.
yeah.
Like healing, like you can kind of just leave it. There's no heel barrier. You can go whenever you feel like. I mean, you don't just jump at the gates because there ain't
Right.
that much left fence. But like you don't want them right either. So you just kind of cruise. My deal is I just kind of like slowly cruise with them when the gates open. I stay all the way at the back.
Mhm.
But like it's dang sure a long ways.
Well,
Hey,
Like you
Dan.
have no idea where your header is when they leave.
really?
Oh yeah, you can't see them if you're up there.
I noticed something
That's crazy.
this last little week after you come home from the BFI. I got to watch a few runs of yours. Your horse can run.
Yeah.
He can fly.
Mhm.
Like he can keep up with the head horse and
He
bold
looks
statement to
smooth.
keep up with the head rope, but he can keep up. I was watching some of them healers over there that you mentioned. No healing barrier. You can leave whenever you want to. And there was guys kind of having to spank their horse to keep up with them steers.
Yeah.
That's how strong them steers were. You can leave whenever you want to, and they were late. So you had to pay attention right there for the header. Like, gosh, dang, Catch did a good job just
Like,
keeping the
yeah.
runs together.
Yep.
And you won the junior BFI,
Yep.
and so them steers were totally different setup.
Yeah.
Let's
They're
talk
old heifers.
and talk about how you've roped a lot around here. You've had to deal with both. What's the difference between roping an old heifer and a fresh M brand steer that say from one day to the next, right there, 2 days, 2 days before you rope the
hmm
junior BFI and then you rope the M brand steers.
I mean, the difference isn't really that big. It's all just healing. Like, make sure you don't get too close, don't get too far, ride a good position, and throw it between the feet and
Man,
rope on separation.
don't miss.
Yeah, don't miss.
Try not to miss. Throw
Yep.
fast, be aggressive, but
Yeah.
don't miss.
Have you ever
Take
seen,
the first good shot.
Have you ever seen Joe Montana in an interview? This guy reminds me of Joe Montana.
Pretty cool, right?
They're like just talking about when you were in the Super Bowl and you were down by a touchdown, and he's like, yeah, but I had Jerry Rice, and I just I told him, you go out there and catch the ball. I won't throw it too far. I won't throw it too close. Like it's healing.
I just whenever it's my turn to heel, I'll just come there in 2 feet, almost like Forrest Gump.
He said, "I'll just cruise with the steer down the arena."
Forrest, run. Okay, 2 feet, bam.
Done. Yeah, I love it. Man, you got to keep that, bro. Don't ever lose it. Like
I'm
that.
telling you, like that's the
That's
healing.
a talent.
That's a healing mentality. A lot of the healers, like we talked about Wesley Thorpe a little while, pretty laid back kind of guy. He's a good guy, pretty upbeat about life, you know. And so I know Paul Eves, that guy's a really mellow, laid back kind of guy. Gino Guetta, he's pretty kind of amped up. It looks like with his the way he'll pull
Layer
back every
back
night
for
and
Jesus
swing
or
and
pull
kind of.
back for Jesus.
But the way he goes about life and stuff, he's a pretty laid back kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's pretty humble kind of guy. So
Yeah.
it really helps out to have that mentality. If you're kind of a little bit of a goer, you tend to kind of go on the head side a little bit. I've noticed the guys that want to control the run a little bit more, they head. So
You can only do what you can do here. You just have to trust that the guy that you put your money down with is gonna set you up good.
Give us a couple of your favorite rodeos, then. I mean, it could be, the AJRA at Payson if you want. It just whatever. Just like what are your couple?
Watching or entered?
Just enter. Like, I mean, not even ones you won. Just like some of your favorite places you've been and
which ones do you want to rope at too?
Yeah.
Like what's the ones are your favorites that you want to kind of compete at?
Houston's my favorite one to watch.
Oh man. You haven't gone there yet, but that is the best rodeo in the world right there. One of my favorites.
It looks fun roping
So
there
fun.
me. Like you can go watch on TV, and like it's one of the only ones like you can hear the barrier latch.
Kerpow, yeah.
Yeah.
They got microphones everywhere.
Yeah,
you
hear
get in
guys
trouble
in the
for
back yelling,
you get in trouble for saying the F words or any kind of you get in trouble for that.
Yeah, that one it's fun to watch on TV. I always want there.
They almost remind you every day, kind of, if you could, just trying to watch your language. They got microphones everywhere. So like, there's a real nice lady that kind of runs that whole thing.
What do you want me to say on it?
What do you want Rocker Steiner to say whenever he doesn't get marked just right? You know what I'm saying? But no, it's one of the coolest rodeos. The hospitality, the setup. They bring good steers over there. The healer, you're going so fast. It's kind of fun to heel over there. It really is. And then you need to maybe put Pendleton on that list one of these days in the future. Pendleton's a blast.
Yeah, maybe try that one on this year.
Yep. Middle of the Northwest though, like you're probably not gonna want to be home about that time of year.
Yeah.
Be a little warm for about once Pendleton starts hitting and starts getting cold up in the Northwest, it's time to
once Reno hits.
Yeah.
It's time to
kind
of get out.
So you're 18, right? So tell us how it started with your open number. Like what age were you when you got your first number, and what was it?
I don't know how old I was. I think I had a 1 card back in the day. Like this is a long time ago. I was probably like 5 or 6.
My question is like, how fast did you progress? Like, how many numbers did you jump? Or
when I was in 8th grade, like the summer of my 8th grade year, I was a straight 6. I roped at the BFI that summer, and I won the 10 there. And then I got raised from a 6 straight to a 7. And then that winter, I got a really good week there, like week 4 NFR Vegas week. And I got raised from a straight 7 to a straight 8. And then about 6 months later, I was an 8+. That's awesome. And another 6 months, I was a 9. And then another 6 months, a 9+. And I've been 9+ for
noticed
a year and a half, 2 years almost.
right there, that journey from his 8 to his 9.5 career right there. That's one of the hardest jumps for any young roper trying to get to that next level.
Yeah.
And he did so good, kind of getting to that next level. Next level for you would be the professional level, trying to make the top 15, world champion, kind of that level. I feel like you have, if you set that goal for yourself, you're more than capable to reach it for sure. Yeah. But that, like I said, that grind right there. Talk about maybe the practice process change from your level 8 to the 9 elite, right? Like getting to practice at certain places, going around and roping with certain people, right? That's kind of
doors open a little more.
Yep, a little bit more. You start roping with better people, and that's what I think really helps out.
I mean, you're going to California with the world champion, so I mean that's got to say something. 18 years old, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's pretty. Cool.
How often do you practice? Like during the week?
Whenever I can. I don't have an arena or anything, so just whenever I can. I jackpot a lot during the winter time, so that's I practice and I do that a lot.
How many steers? Like I mean, and I'm asking this just because these are questions like the listeners are going to answer,
Yeah.
like how in the wintertime, how many runs do you think you make a week or something like that? You know what I mean? Is it a number like 20 or is it a number like 100?
It's closer to the 100 number.
The
It's
100
going to be
number?
in the triple digits for sure.
Yeah.
And like
Like, you're
that's
up
that's
as
how
many-
many looks you're getting.
As many steers as you can get turned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's,
So
it's never, no, I don't want to do this today.
No, I don't
I'm
get that
good.
from
I've
you.
had enough today.
Yeah, I get that from you. It's like, you know what Uncle George told us about Caesar. We never had to tell him to wrap the steers. We never had to tell him to get the horses ready. Like we
I
got
love it,
home and there was horses tied up, ready to go, and there he was running behind the steers to bring them up. I get that same feeling from you. And maybe
Yeah.
that's I'm not knocking headers, but maybe that's like a healer thing, right? You guys are just you don't get to throw your rope at every steer, so you want more opportunities. You know what I mean? It's a percentage thing.
The first time I ever saw you, or you came over to Tanner's over there, and there was,
Breaking in steers.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
holy moly.
Yeah, we've had Denton over there on the crew, and that day in particular, I promise you, he roped 100 steers that day through 100 loops.
Mm.
We had to break in steers for the Mike Survey, and yeah, it was quite the deal. Their steers were pretty big.
Yeah.
There was about half the set were abnormally big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We almost had to draw them down a little bit.
Abnormally big.
Yeah,
Some of them were large.
I say abnormally big. They're about 550 weights. They were pretty large for
Brandon
big
borrowed
fresh.
them from me from the feedlot.
Yeah,
You
they were
made-
large.
You definitely made me a believer that day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You get to see it, the fire that he has. It was 2 years ago, I guess we broke in them steers, and from that level, I think you were about an 8 from right there. And your horse took you to another level too. Like it seemed like his 6-year-old year,
Yeah.
he was still a little bit green, and then kind of picked it up these last couple of years. He's 8 now, and that's a really good age.
Yeah.
It's almost like they find their way. When they get 9, 10, they're solid. Man, they work really good when they hit the double digits right
Yeah.
there. And talk about your horse a little bit. You talked a little bit about, you don't just torture him.
I try not to.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, last few months, like he's been getting rode quite a bit just because there's everything I go to seems like it's, you're open against the very best guys.
Full contact.
Like you need to be on your best game to just even have a chance against any of them. So I always try to ride him at the big ones, but like I try not to rope him. Like if I'm just gonna go to some small roping, unless I'm like I haven't rode him in a while and like fixing to go somewhere big, just kind of like getting time with him.
It's anything over like 5,000. You're not gonna ride him.
Well, Brad Dunn told me a long time ago, once you want to ride a horse and get him going, and once he gets to a certain level in his career, once he gets pretty solid and good, now you got to start taking care of him because his knees, his ankles, everything's going to start wearing out. Because it's funny how the good horses get sore faster just because they kind of get
made a lot of
good.
runs.
So at this level in his career, his 8-year-old year, you're gonna use him and when he needs to be used and kind of get that second horse. We talked about it the other day. You're in the process of maybe looking for another heel horse to help back. And I talked about Paul Eves a little while ago. He has, and Wesley Thorpe, those kind of guys. They have a remuda of heel horses.
Yeah,
they have 6 or 7 or 8 of number 1 heel horses, as good as they get, all of them. And so they. I know Paul when he only had one, and I give him rides to these rodeos and stuff, and he'd load up his one horse in there, and he didn't really have a good enough rig to go to where we needed to go. He kind of had to jump in here and there and had his one horse, and now he's got a really nice rig, nice place. He's got his own arena, all this stuff, and he's got a lineup of heel horses.
He's bringing them for other people.
He's got enough heel horses where Colter Todd is showing up at the national finals on one of his heel horses, which is really cool too, right? Like it's. Cool. Like, so I feel like your journey's starting right there. You got your really good horse and he's winning. You're thinking, right, I need to get another horse a lot like him and keep this string going. And if I can get too many horses where I got 5 or 6 at the house and I don't have enough to load up in the trailer, that's
Mount money.
Because as soon as you go, like, say, to California and you got back from Texas and Oklahoma and all this stuff, you're driving all over the place. And you got these horses dialed in, they're ready to go to the rodeos.
Yeah.
You probably don't hurt nothing to have a horse at the house that's fresh, it feels good, that you can kind of take and torture a little bit, practice on, jackpot on, and have some fun on. You leave that rodeo horse in the pen and maybe lead him around, lunge him around a little bit, and kind of take care of him a little bit more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud of you, Dan. You're doing really good, man. This is really cool. I seen you at the high school rodeos and see your head down a little bit. You got to rope a calf. It feels like you almost got to get in a fight over there. You're fixing to get in a fist fight over there, and then all of a sudden your demeanor changes. You know, when you riding up in your rope and you got your heel horse and you got a little smile on your face and you're bebopping up to the arena. It's a different deal. From the morning all the way to the team rope, and they don't team rope in the junior high rodeos and the high school rodeos to the evening time over there. So it's funny.
Night.
Yeah, you show up in the morning, you're like, you got your hat down, like you're, and then when you're roping, you got a smile on your face, ready to heel one, and it's funny. You guys are doing really good at the high school rodeos. You guys are wiping the floor with these guys and doing really good. You and Michael are the top dogs. Seems like right there at that deal. You guys are keep pushing each other. So I think the next generation of Arizona Cowboys is looking really bright.
You, Mikey, and Nikki, man, that's a hell of a three.
We'll be seeing those guys at the finals.
Guaranteed you will.
Yeah, right.
Man, thanks for coming by and spending some time with us. Like, all I gotta say is just keep that humble attitude, man. You got it pretty cool. It's cool. I just cruise down and rope a steer, no big deal.
You want to give some shouts to some of your sponsors real quick?
Yeah, what he got for sponsors?
Yeah, Fastback Ropes, they help me out a lot. And then Rope Smart, CSI Saddle Pads, Resist All, Kelly's Reload. Shout out to Kelly Cheatham.
Shout out
Big
Kelly.
shout out.
Kelly, come on the podcast, Kelly.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on.
Bring your red cup.
We need some
Get Kelly
training.
up here.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
man. Well, hey, we get you on down the road, and good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck to where you're going. Keep in touch.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Thank you.
Also,
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it, buddy.
can't forget Tristan, TM Bits and Spurs. Tristan Mahoney.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, shout out.
we're gonna have him on pretty soon too.
Yeah.
We got Preston Williams here, and we're on the future episodes of Tristan Mahoney, Bits and Spurs coming on there. He's doing a good job with you too.
Yep.
Cool.
That's awesome.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks.